Welcome back. So, today we have some of the most exciting news in Enlisted all year. I feel like a lot of the year has been relatively small updates, and we've had a couple larger ones, but this one really feels like it's getting back into the nature of updates that we would have seen with the campaigns and last year and whatnot. There is a ton of stuff coming, and a lot of it's really good, really exciting, so let's get into it. So, starting from the top, we're going to be looking at the new American Premium Squads. We have the 423rd Infantry Regiment with the T-24. It is effectively an MG-42, but it's chambered in 30-06. It looks to be an awesome squad. It's going to be at BR5. I'm sure it's going to be one of my personal favorites. I kind of wish that they said whether they were going to be gold squads or um, store squads. I'm just gonna spitball a guess out and say that they'll be a store squad, but maybe I'm wrong. It's a 50-50 shot after all. Moving on from them, there's the 113th Infantry Regiment. Now these guys are particularly interesting. Not because their gun is cool, but it's a little bit whatever. What? Well, actually, I take that back. They are going to be really cool because of their gun too, but that's because they're BR2 with 30 round Thompsons. So what you're getting is a set of Chinese volunteers, which is really cool in its own right. Like the whole theme of this update is the tigers of Burma. So, newsflash, this is the Chinese update. But it's going to be a 1923 version, well, it's a copy of a 1923 version of the Thompson with a long barrel and a bipod at BR2 firing the Chinese 7.63 Mauser out of 30 round magazines. Now, it doesn't do as much damage as other Thompsons, but it's still a Thompson at BR2. And I mean, Thompsons are stylish guns, so I'm happy to see that. But like I said, they're also going to be pretty cool because this is a Chinese volunteer squad. And that's pretty exciting. I've been waiting for them to branch out and start adding more nations in. They kind of did a little bit with the French resistance fighters. We hadn't seen a French squad since the Moroccans, and like the Moroccans are Moroccan, they just fall under France because colonialism and all that. Moving on from there, we have the USSR. Apparently, we are finally seeing a resurgence of motorcycles. Now, back a few months ago, I don't know, like 6, 8 months ago, I can't remember exactly when, they posted a little roadmap and they said they wanted to do improvements to motorcycles. I'm curious if we'll see them this update. I've been waiting to see something with them. They felt like they've been completely forgotten. I kind of feel like they should get some sort of mechanic similar to the half tracks where once you park them, they can do something. Um, Obviously the spawn point idea is out the window because the half tracks already do that, and it would be kind of boring if they did the same thing as the half tracks. I'm thinking maybe you can go up to them and resupply, like make it so it's like a mobile ammo box. That would be pretty cool. Um, I don't know. They need a little bit of something, and just being a mobile machine gun nest just doesn't really work for me. And being a 2 to 3 man squad, depending on which squad it is, also just really does not work for me. Like if you brought in multiple bikes, like if you brought in say 3 bikes and therefore you had 3 machine guns and 6 guys in the squad, yeah, I could fuck with that. But thus far that's not what we've seen. So hopefully we'll see some sort of radical update to them that really improves them and makes them worth bringing. Regardless, there's going to be a BR2 Soviet motorcycle with a Dishka on the bike, which the Dishka, or I guess it's a DP. I don't know why I read this as Dishka earlier when I was skimming through it. And probably just me wishing it was actually a Dishka because Dishkas are the best. But no, I guess it's DP. So regardless, you have a motorcycle, you've got a machine gun that'll probably overheat too quickly. I really hope that we see something cool with motorcycles. Moving on from there, we've got the Tu-2S with 6 250 kilo bombs. So this thing's going to be absolutely disgusting. I'm going to love it. This is going to be the German equivalent to the what's the German thing called? The 188, I think, or the 288. I don't remember which variant it is. But so for the Germans, it's a little bit of a bus. It's pretty easy to shoot down. It can be annoying to fly if the skies are contested. But when you do get to use it, you can just lay down the pain. And now the Russians are getting effectively the same thing. I'm not sure how much crew it's going to have. One of the nice things about the German one is that it's got a full, like, 5-man crew. So I've got them all armed with the captured PPSHs. So when they inevitably get shot down, they can parachute in and pretend that they're a paratrooper squad. Hopefully the Tu-2S will see a similar crew size. I think Tu-2 crews are a little bit smaller, though. I could be wrong, but I think there's like a pilot, a nose gunner, and a tail gunner, and there might be like a bombardier or maybe one more machine gunner. I just don't remember. But regardless, as a plane, I think it's going to be awesome. As a makeshift paratrooper squad, probably less so. But that is one of the nice like bonuses to the German one, so you might see that appear here. Moving on from there, Germany is finally getting something we have all been asking for years now. The MG42 100. Now, I know that we all wanted some sort of MG42 with a fortress belt, which, I mean, they could be even longer than this, but I'm just happy that we finally have an MG42 with a 100-round belt. Like, I realized that we could have been carting around some box and had, like, Hans following behind us, carrying the box or some nonsense, right? We could have had, like, a 250-round belt, but it would have probably been ridiculous. So I'm really happy that we at least are seeing a 100-round belt. This puts us in the same tier as the Russians running around with the RD-44s with their 100-round belts and the Americans running around with their 1919s with the 100-round belts. Both of those machine guns are fantastic. I think the RD-44 is probably my favorite machine gun in the game. But now that we're getting a 100-round belt on an MG42, this is probably going to come in at a close second. I mean, the downside is that it shoots a little bit slower than the MG42 variants that I've been using lately. I've been using the MG39 and the MG45 a lot lately, but just having the extra belt length will be really, really nice. Moving on from there, the long-awaited and much complained about tank from the last, I don't know, week and a half has finally appeared. The Super Pershing is finally gracing America after, it's been about a year since they announced it, a little bit short of a year. I think we're like 11 months, give or take. It's finally coming. So, rest easy, Americans. It's not just a premium rocket tank. You also get the Super Pershing, which I believe is coming into the tech tree. You've been waiting for it to be added to the research tree for a long time. Here it is. So there you go. I still stand by what Stubbs and I have discussed a few times. It was in one of our like live-ish talking videos, but this thing is probably going to be an upgrade for America, but it's not likely to be the end-all, be-all, fix-all that American tankers want. The Tiger 2H is still probably going to be very competitive against this. I still think I would probably give the edge to the Tiger 2H. I mean, the Pershing already has mobility issues, and Super Pershings are not known for being phenomenally fast because, you know, they have all this add-on armor and all this other bolted-on bullshit. But at least with this armor, if you angle it right, you probably will be able to stand up a little bit better to the Tiger 2H than the standard Pershing, so that'll be nice. Moving on from there, we're getting the Hyde 1944. This is going to be the American analog to the STG-44. It's firing the 30 cal cartridge, so it should be a pretty spicy gun. I think they look really nice. I'm looking forward to getting them in there. And finally, the thing more than anything else that's going to save the American tech tree, what they have needed all year long, is finally here. They're getting the Offenrohr. I know, it's not that exciting. I was hoping for a recoilless rifle or maybe a super bazooka, but hey, if you can't beat the enemy's AT weapons, just steal them. And like the Russians before them, the Americans are stealing German AT weapons. So here we go. BR4, Offenrohr, 200 mils a pen, fires pretty flat. Panzers beware. This thing is awesome in the hands of the Germans. It's probably going to be awesome in the hands of the Americans. And not only is it like real life accurate that we captured them, but for me it's a throwback to all the old World War II games where you always would run into like German tanks and they'd have you go and steal a Panzerschreck and blow them up. So the only thing it's missing from those old games is the blast shield on the side of it. So we'll probably see Americans running around in gas masks here soon. So that'll be pretty cool. Please, Darkflow, give me a gas mask customization that I can just put on anybody. Just because they look cool. But as a weapon that's getting added, this is probably the one thing that the American tech tree needed more than anything else. After this, there are no excuses for American players. They'll be able to deal with every tank on the battlefield. Like, that's it. If the American player base cannot save itself and start, killing the Germans between this, the Super Pershing, the P-47, and the Rocket Pershing, then nothing's going to save them. Moving on from there, we have additions for Japan. So they're getting the Type 89 TE4 at BR4. It's a licensed It's a licensed copy of the Vickers Class E machine gun in 7.7. It's cool. It's probably going to be similar to the Bren 100, just based off the way it looks. It's going to have a 69 round pan magazine, so it's not quite the Bren 100, and it is a Vickers machine gun, so it is different. But you're going to see a similar fire rate, so 770 rounds a minute. It's got a big AA sight like it. If you've used that before, or if you've tested it, you kind of have an idea of what you're going to be getting here. Should be interesting, but Japan already has some pretty spicy machine guns. It does follow with the format of most Japanese machine guns, though, in top loads, so take it as you will. Having the AA sight, though, it's going to really open up your sight picture, so I don't think I'll mind it as much as some of the other top loaders that block part of your screen. Moving on from there, Japan's getting their motorcycles, so finally everybody in the game is going to have their motorcycles, so that's great. Same thing I said about the Russians, though. Like, the motorcycles really need an update. They really need to do something new and exciting that they haven't done thus far, so hopefully we'll see them do something. We'll see. Moving on from there, one of the most exciting vehicles for me of the update, something I've really been looking forward to for Japan for a while now, the Chi-Ri 2. So the Chi-Ri has two primary guns. Well, it's really a secondary, like, smaller tank gun, but like it has two tank guns. It has a 75 and it has a 37. And I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Chi-Ris are auto-loaded. If not, I remember them having like really good reload rates in things like War Thunder, for example. But it's a tank that I've always liked. It's a bigger, heavier tank for Japan. I don't think it is actually a heavy tank, but it's like a bigger, heavier, more lumbering like tank with a pretty good gun, pretty good firepower. It's basically a direct upgrade to I never remember Japanese tank names, whatever their BR4 tank is. the one that's also in the Battle Pass. So that's it for today. They may announce more stuff coming soon. We'll see. But this is the upcoming list of weapons and whatnot. You can see in the background of this picture that there's a new looking map there. So that'll be exciting. Japan maps are finally getting expanded, and we're finally going to see some more interesting and or more exciting environments. We won't just be stuck fighting in Guadalcanal. So as per usual, let me know down below what you think, what you're looking forward to. There's quite a few things in this that look exciting to me. I'm sure that there are things that are looking exciting to you all. This is probably the most exciting update of the year for me, just by sheer amount of stuff that's coming in. Um, I mean, like I said, we've had a couple other ones this year that were pretty good. Um, I don't I know with the Ardennes coming out, we got a pretty good map set from that. I don't remember there being as much stuff added. Like we might have, because I think that's when we got the half tracks. And in the last update, we got like the gorillas, but like I feel like a lot of these updates have been kind of light. Like they've added really important things, but this update, I don't know, it just feels like it's got a lot of stuff in it. I don't know if the quantity is actually higher. Maybe it's just the things that they're adding are more exciting for me because I guess they have added a bunch of stuff to Japan over the last year. Because we added like the Key 7 and the Type 100 and the Tokyo Arsenal and um, the Key 84 and the Hori. So like maybe I'm just I don't know. Maybe I'm just excited. Maybe they aren't actually adding more, but this looks like it's going to be an awesome update. I'm looking forward to it. So as per usual, get out there, kick ass, take names, and win your games.